Hello everyone, this is Porter from Trill Mag. It's July, the heart of summer, and it is time for another installment of the monthly game releases. This month is full of hot titles such as Zenless Zone Zero or the newest expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, Dawntrail. Let's take a look. The First Descendant. The First Descent is a free, third-person cooperative action RPG shooter. Experience the fun of strategic boss fights, various unique characters, exciting gunplay, and looting through a 4-player co-op adventure. Become a descendant on a mission to fight against the invaders for human survival and protect the Igris continent. Players can experience the spectacular story by growing stronger through various missions and finally discover the Descendant's secret. The First Descendant's exciting battles are composed of various characters with unique skill sets, free movements, and chain actions through grappling hooks, colorful firearms, and additional effects. With this, players are able to create any battle style they so desire. A variety of equipment is necessary for growth in the game, and you can obtain this gear through clearing missions within the game or doing world missions where you have to cooperate with other players. World missions allow you to target large boss monsters through 4-player co-op. The various difficulties within this mode will allow you to stimulate your competitiveness, and it will allow you to destroy and extract various parts of each bosses. The First Descendant released on July 2nd. Final Fantasy XIV, Dawntrail. Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities await in Dawntrail, the newest expansion with critically acclaimed Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the nation of Tulial, far from the west, claimants prepare to compete for a throne of the Dawn Serpent. Erosia's champion is to accompany Loch Lamont as her ally in this rite of succession, an endeavor which calls them across the glittering seas to the distant continent of Toriel. The contest ahead promises challenges far beyond simple combat as they navigate the unique cultures of Toriel's many and diverse clans. Little by little, their journey will unravel the mystery of the legendary Golden City, and so begin a new tale for another decade of Final Fantasy XIV. Dawntrail introduces 2 new jobs: the Viper, which is a close-range combat fighting style, passed down by Toriel's hunters for generations. It uses quick and decisive strikes with one-handed blades alongside powerful flourishes from combined 2-handed weapons. The other job introduced in Dawntrail is the Pictomancer. With brush in hand, a Pictomancer weaves the aether of their imagination into the fabric of reality, allowing them to manifest their myriad of motifs in the living muses. Every work of art takes time to perfect, and thus their palettes are ever prepared with a colorful arsenal of instant cast abilities and spells. Explore uncharted territories with familiar faces as you discover new tribes, confront formidable threats, and expand your horizons as hope's light dawns once more. Dawntrail released on July 2nd. Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero is an urban fantasy action role-playing game developed and published by MiHoYo. The game takes place in the post-apocalyptic, futuristic heaven known as New Eridu. Entities known as ethereals have traveled out of the human world from portals called hollows, wreaking havoc on most of humanity. However, a select group of survivors has survived the oncoming onslaught by extracting the ethereal's technology and resources. The player assumes the role of a proxy, a character who helps others explore the hostile alternate dimension known as Hollows. As they advance, the proxy will recruit new members to their party as they continue to fight the ethereal and other enemies. In addition to the proxy, players also use assistants known as Bang Boos. Players can deploy greater damage and combos onto enemies by combining the abilities of different proxies and Bang Boos. The game features an in-game clock system, with the day split into morning, afternoon, night, and late night. Zenless Zone Zero released on July 4th. The Legend of Heroes: Trails Through Daybreak. The official English and Switch release of The Legend of Heroes: Trails Through Daybreak. The Legend of Heroes: Trails Through Daybreak is an action role-playing video game developed by Nihon Falcom. It is part of the Trail series, itself part of the larger The Legend of Heroes franchise, and is the first game in the Trails Through Daybreak story arc. The game follows Van Arkwright, a young man working at the Arkwright Solutions office as a Spriggan, a bounty hunting detective. The game's narrative is structured into a chapter format, with each chapter allowing the player to spend a day in the city of Theurden. Here, players can interact with characters and engage with side missions. As the story progresses, players are sent to different locations where new party members join. The game's open world design is evident in reduced load times and is generally larger overworld compared to previous games in the series. A unique feature of the Trails Through Daybreak is its alignment system, which is based on law, chaos, and a mix of the two. Unlocks the option that allows players to ally with certain factions at particular points in the game, triggering unique events in battle. The game's combat system is divided into real-time action battles and traditional turn-based combat. The game encourages the usage of both modes, which can be freely switched during the game outside of boss battles, which are exclusively turn-based. Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak releases on July 5th. Once Human. Once Human is a post-apocalyptic, multiplayer open-world survival game. The apocalypse changed everything. Humans, animals, and plants are infested by an alien creature known as Stardust. As a metahuman, you can survive the contamination and use the power of Stardust. You'll have to brace yourself with the cruelty of nature. Eating polluted food and drinking dirty water will reduce your sanity, which affects your maximum health. Battle numerous enemies that were once human, and battle bosses from another dimension to gain powerful items and ease Stardust pollution. With about 100 gun blueprints, divided into 7 categories for you to collect and craft, every loot grants you something new. Delve into the truth of Stardust, find out where it came from and what it wants. In the journey of seeking truth, you may feel alone, but you are never alone. There are several factions in the world. Some can be violent and hostile, others might be friendly and helpful. Explore human settlements to learn their stories, or exterminate bosses without leaving a name for survivors to praise. The choice is yours. Play alone or join others to fight, build, and explore. Once Human releases on July 9th. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. The Switch release of Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is a combat flight simulator game by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Ace Combat 7's plot marks the series' return to its traditional setting of Strange Reel and follows the exploits of Trigger, a fighter pilot who is assigned to the Penal Squadron following a false accusation of murder amidst a war between the two countries of Osei and Eurisia. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown forgoes a realistic flight model in favor of a faster, arcade-like gameplay to increase its accessibility to newer players. The game features 28 different aircrafts, with 9 additional as downloadable content. Special weapons, including anti-ship missiles and laser weapons, are used to boost an aircraft's ability to carry out air-to-air or air-to-ground attacks. Equipment purchased may also be used to boost the aircraft's performance beyond its base, such as higher spec engines or airframe parts to enhance its speed and survivability. Only 8 upgrades may be applied at any time, and weight limitations limit the number of specific upgrades. The player may choose to play in multiplayer mode regardless of any progression made in the single-player campaign. The multiplayer modes comprise of a team deathmatch and battle royale modes. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown releases on July 11th. TMNT Splintered Fate. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is a roguelike quest to rescue Splinter from the Foot Clan. Master Splinter has been kidnapped by Shredder, and mysterious portals simultaneously have appeared across New York City. With April and Metalhead analyzing recovered artifacts for clues, the Turtles battle to recover their father from the clutches of the Foot Clan. However, as the game gets closer to Splinter's otherworldly location, an even greater threat lingers in the shadows. Brace yourself for a fast-paced roguelike adventure where no 2 runs are the same. With randomized power-ups, room layouts, and boss modifiers, the excitement never ends. Take control of all 4 turtles, each wielding unique powers, and team up with friends for a bodacious co-op gameplay. Explore iconic New York City locations, upgrade your turtles' powers, and prepare to face off against formidable enemies. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate releases on July 17th. Dungeons of Hinterberg. Welcome to Hinterberg, a new tourist hotspot in the idyllic Austrian Alps. You play as Luisa, a burned-out law trainee taking a break from her fast-paced corporate life to conquer the dungeons of Hinterberg. There are plenty of dungeons to find and adventures to be had. Snowboard down a glacier, zipline through forests, climb a mountain, or have a coffee by the lake. There is no shortage of places to discover while you're out looking for your next dungeon. Monsters lurk around every corner in Hinterberg, and your sword and magic skills are essential for keeping them at bay. Harness the wind, conjure a snowboard out of thin air, or freeze your enemy in a jelly block. Braving a dungeon requires the use of your head, your magic skills, and every trick in the book to solve them. Spend your nights forging friendships with the locals and other adventurers. Good relationships don't just make your stay more memorable, they're key to becoming a better slayer. Dungeons of Heidelberg releases on July 18th. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. From game studio A44, makers of Ashen, comes an explosive Souls-light where gods and guns collide in battle for the future of humanity. The door to the great below has been opened, unleashing the gods and their armies of the dead. The lands of Kian are besieged. The city of Dawn is on the brink of destruction. It is time for the Coalition army to fight back. Embrace vengeance, gunpowder, and magic as you embark on an epic journey to defeat the gods. Close the door and retake the world. Step into the boots of Norvang, an elite member of the Coalition army, joined by Enki, a mysterious fox-like companion, in their quest for vengeance against the gods. Your combat skills and traversal capabilities will be imbued with magical powers, making you a duo to be reckoned with. Weave in melee, gunpowder, and magic in rhythmic battles where combos chain together to create a lethal dance. Use gunpowder abilities to exploit verticality to your advantage and deal death from above, or quickly recover from danger. Traverse the ravaged landscape of Kian, utilizing Enki's magic and portals to soar through the skies while confronting hordes of the undead. Discover new equipment, strengthen your weapons, and upgrade your gear in anticipation to the ultimate showdown against the gods. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, releases on July 18th. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition is based on the esports competition Nintendo World Championships. The gameplay focuses on players speedrunning certain objectives, known as challenges, in NES-era Nintendo video games, aiming to complete these tasks as fast as possible. The game itself is split into multiple modes. Speedrun mode, where players speedrun specific challenges as fast as possible on their own. World Championships has the players speedrun 5 different challenges consecutively, with the time spent on them being tallied and placed onto an online leaderboard. Survival mode, a battle royale style mode, in which players faces the ghosts of other players from all over the world in 3 rounds. At the end of each round, half of the players are eliminated. To qualify, the player must place in the top half of the leaderboard. The last is Party mode, hosting up to 8 players in local multiplayer to compete to see who can complete challenges the fastest. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition releases on July 18th. The new Denpa Men. The new Denpa Men is an RPG game developed and published by Genius Sorority for the Nintendo Switch. The game revolves around capturing Denpa, human-like creatures that live in radio waves, to form a team to explore mysterious dungeons and dangerous enemies. The new Denpa Men releases on July 2nd. Earth Defense Force 6. The sequel to Earth Defense Force 5, Earth Defense Force 6 is a third-person shooter that depicts the battle between the EDF and the alien life forms that have suddenly attacked Earth. The invader that has long tormented Earth is finally revealed. A chain of deep despair strikes in a devastated world for the first time in the series. but your presence as a soldier in the EDF is crucial. You will lead humanity to the greatest joy. Now, more than ever, your courage and wisdom are needed. The largest volume in history of the series supports online co-op play. The largest number of missions and weapons ever included. All missions support online co-op play for up to 4 players. Take the control of 4 different soldier classes and fight alongside real EDF members from across the country. Earth Defense Force 6 releases on July 25th. Join us next month for another installment of monthly game releases. Stay safe out there and have fun.